This is the video for activity 1. This is a real short, really simple video. Your group is either going to be assigned the particulates card here or the ozone. I'm going to probably do the, and you'll probably see this, but with block 5, since the particulates take 24 hours, what I'm probably going to do is have my block 5. You guys will probably just be responsible for this. And then block 4, you're going to be responsible for the ozone checking, or maybe I'll do half and half, I'm not sure. But what we want to do is, with this particulate card, it's got a plastic covering on it, and so it's kind of difficult to get off, but you want to peel off the plastic covering, and then you're going to set the card somewhere where it's not going to move, and you may need to find a rock or something like that, or something a little heavier to put on the card right here to keep the card from moving in case there's any wind. So good locations are going to be out of the way of people. So maybe on a lamp post, like in a parking lot, somewhere where somebody wouldn't notice it, or next to a building, off of the sidewalk somewhere where someone might not notice it for 24 hours. What you're going to want to do is take a picture of your location and the approximate, and write down the approximate location, because the other class is going to come collect these. You won't come and collect these, so I need a picture and directions, or wherever you put this, that I can find it. With the ozone, this is a little simpler. This you're going to use for 10 minutes. So basically you take one of these strips out. It looks like a pH strip that you've used before. And then you're going to go to a location, preferably outside somewhere, and you're just going to hold it for 10 minutes. Now you want to make sure that the strip is in the shade and not in direct sunlight. So you can go out in the sunny areas, just make sure that you are shading the strip the entire time for 10 minutes. And you just got to sit there and just hold it in your hand. That's really all you're going to do. And it's going to seem like it's not really changing, but when you come back, you'll see, as you compare it to a clean strip, that it has changed. And then you'll come back and compare it on this scale right here. Now, I'm not anticipating anything crazy here because we live in rural Noblesville. You should not see high concentrations of ozone. But if we were near a high traffic area, or a high concentrated area, or a construction site, or somewhere near a lot of more pollution, you would see a higher number. I'm not expecting to see anything crazy actually with either of these. These are just the pH strips here that you'll use. It's like a wheel, you just pull it out, and then that's how you'll test your pH for your water that's in your little environment, which is in the next activity. All right, thanks.
Okay, so this is the pre-lab video on how to set up your mini environment. So what you want to look in here is, you see, to set this up, you'll have a plastic container. You'll have the aluminum tray with the little incense cone sort of standing up in the middle. Your 20 milliliter cup of distilled water, and then a plant that you have chosen. And then what we're going to do first is we're going to add the bromomethyl blue solution here. And what you're going to do to make this as clean as possible is you're going to want to stir as you are putting the drops in. So maybe have one partner stirring while the other one is squirting and counting the number of drops. You want to go between 20 and 30. You want to get a nice green solution. So let me try to see if I can do this at the same time. Between 20 and 30, so I'm just going to keep stirring. At first it may start off yellow, but the more drops you put in, it'll turn more and more green. I think I said in the directions you can do like 10 at a time, and stir and try to get between 20 and 30. You may want to do this outside of the container. Stir again, set this down. It'll start off yellow for sure, so you want more concentration of the bromomethyl blue. till it gets a nice green color, like a dark green color. Let's see. Not necessarily dark green, but let's see. Should turn a greenish color here. Goal is to get it a nice green color. You may need more, who knows. If you have questions or is this good, if you want to check in with me, you can. I probably put between 30 and 40 drops in here. But it's gonna really depend on, you don't want to go too much more than that because the cup will overfill, but get it a nice color. It looks like it's gonna sort of stay a greenish yellow here. Well, once that's stirred, then you're good with the stirring rod. I'm gonna move this cone back to the center. I got moved. Again, you might want to do that outside of the container. So what we're gonna do is use one of these lighters here to light the cone, and then just so it gets a little bit of fire on it, and then it will burn out, and then you're gonna want to slowly, carefully exhale on it, almost like an ember. You wanna let it sort of turn red, and then it will smoke, and then you're gonna wanna set the lid loosely on. I'm not gonna click the lid tight, I'm just gonna set it loosely on there. Let the smoke fill up, and I think in the directions I said like every 5 minutes or something like that. Then you'll lift it up and repeat the process. So what we're gonna do is light this. You can see it gets a nice flame on it. More. It did turn a little bit red, but I'm gonna get it a little bit more than that. There we go. See the flame on there? And you want to carefully let it go. You'll see that it's going to fill up with smoke. As soon as you carefully blow it out, it's going to fill in with smoke. And you're going to let that sit for 5 minutes. After about 5 minutes, you can open up the lid and repeat the process 2 more times, at least 2 more times. If you want to go and do it a 4th time, you can. But what you're going to want to do is see the changes, if there's any changes in the plant itself, as well as the watercolor. Now, what I didn't do, and what I probably should have mentioned before you start, is you're going to want to take a picture. Take a nice picture of your environment before, because with a lot of these things that you're going to be doing today, the changes will be very subtle. And it might take a photograph to actually see the difference in the color of the water, or the difference in the plant color. So that's what you're going to be doing, and then measuring any changes with that. This we're going to see how sort of carbon dioxide, smoke, and particulates, and how they affect the water. One of the things too that you're going to want to do each time you take the lid off is re-stir up the water. The smoke can absorb in water fairly easily, so if you want to see those changes in the color, you'll want to make sure you stir each time, and then check the color and see how it's changing. So that's it. Thanks.